Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Actually, that was a perfect turn round.
Hey,
Perfect.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the TAT. It is I, Sol.
And me, Eddie.
Yes, he's over there where his hand belongs. And today we bring you the PlayStation Classic.
Yeah. Not sure if you've heard of the PlayStation before. It's a moderately successful video games console.
Yes.
A few notable games.
Made by Sony.
Yeah.
Don't know if you've heard of this brand. Sony. Yes.
Yeah.
Son of Y.
Listen here, Sonny.
Yes. No one knows why, son. So
often found with their sister company Share.
Sherry. Sherry. We're gonna need one after this. So yes, this is the PlayStation Classic. You're thinking, what's a PlayStation? PlayStation's already classic. Well, this is a small console. Would you call it a console?
Yeah, it was a cash-in, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah.
It was a consolidation of some PlayStation 1 hits, all combined in a very tiny version of the PlayStation.
It was a plug-and-play version of the original Sony console, although it wasn't really because... Well, no, I suppose it was. You see, the thing is that the PlayStation had two versions. There was the thing we called the PSX, and there was one we called the PS1. So when you say the PlayStation 1, you're not referring to this console, you're referring to the small console that was released, that was rounded, it was brighter.
I do remember that, actually, yeah. Oh, was the original called the PSX?
The original was called the PSX, yes, the PlayStation. The PlayStation. And this is a smaller, compacted version of that. I do like the case quite a bit. The old logo, of course. I am a PlayStation kid, so I grew up on the Sega Mega Drive, and then I moved to the PlayStation pretty much as soon as it came out because my father worked at Electronic Boutique.
Oh,
and so my brother got a PlayStation with a bunch of games. Then I, within a year, got my own PlayStation. First games were Tomb Raider and Star Wars Dark Forces, which was a first-person shooter. I own both now on Steam, and they cost me £1.60.
Nice. They would have cost a lot more back then. I'll say that.
And I never looked back until 25 years later when I started streaming and got a PC.
There you go.
But PlayStation always has a kind of place in my heart. It's a shame I didn't get a PS5 or really wanted one, because obviously I was moved on to PC. It's just, it's weird how I the PS4 came around and I wanted it, and I still remember getting the PS4 and the PS3. The PS3 was a bit shit. There was nothing on it for the first year. It took ages. It wasn't until Assassin's Creed and Uncharted came out at the end of 2007, but it was a whole year of nothing coming out. It was awful. The first game I played on PS3 was Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. That's how bad that was.
There you go. Video game.
That console. I still think the PlayStation 3 was a stopgap console between the PS2 and the PS4.
Yeah. I've never actually played. I had the PSX. I got that when I was 9 years old, my 9th birthday.
Right.
And I got Crash Bandicoot 2. And again, the original Tomb Raider. Crash Bandicoot 2 was a brilliant game. Never completed it. Tomb Raider, I would finish the first level. I would get stuck on the second level with the wolves. I would then do the level skip cheat for every level until the big boss. Would do the level skip cheat again. Bask in the fact I completed the game, having completed only one level, and never went back. I could not play the game.
That sounds like me and the Sega Mega Drive version of Aladdin.
There you go. Yeah. That was Aladdin was a very hard game. It's notably
those games were designed to be hard, so you couldn't beat them in a rental period.
Yeah, I remember the Addams Family for the Super Nintendo, and I would say it's an impossible game. It's such a long game, and there's no save points, and you just run around being gamers.
So this comes with the actual small console, which we'll show in just a moment, and then two very small controllers, and the connection cables for an HDMI. And we can take a look at the back, and it's going to be very hard to see on here.
Did you get with it?
But you get about 20, I believe. Yes, 20. So let's go through some of these in alphabetical order. Battle Arena Toshinden, a fighting game, one of the first on PlayStation. Never played the original.
No.
I did get it when me and a friend were going to do a YouTube project, because we were going to go through old PS1 games, and it never got off the ground because I couldn't get I couldn't actually record because I just didn't have the capabilities to do it. You know, laptops weren't good enough for me then. Back then, Cool Borders 2. So far, this console's not really selling itself that well.
No, I had a few games. I had those two. I had what else did I have? A few. I had Rayman, had a Gex 3D and the Gecko, which is brilliant, really good game.
Great platforms, yeah.
And I spent a lot of time getting. I had a wrestling game, SmackDown, I think it was. That was actually a fantastic game. Really,
the first two were on PS1.
Yeah. I remember I discovered a bit of a glitch with that where I accidentally dropped a book on my PlayStation as the Hardy Boys were coming out, and then it played the Dudley Boys intro music instead, and I was like, right, obviously I've hacked the console. I didn't really mean to do it. A book happened to fall on it, and it messed with the wiring then. And then I spent a lot of time getting demos. You know, we used to get a lot of
demo
games.
discs.
Yeah. With,
I love it.
I do really miss that. You get whether you get a magazine or even with like stuff like Pizza Hut. They did a deal at some point.
Right.
Where you get a Pizza Hut meal deal, and it come with a demo disc.
A demo disc, yeah. Like magazines come with DVDs and CDs to play on your consoles.
I remember looking, and you get a look at a magazine and determine whether or not to buy. If the CD they came with was either a demo or like a DVD of the game.
And then they started coming with cheat discs.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Like action replay codes that you can use straight off the disc, which is incredible. I forgot what I was going to say.
iRobot.
Cut this bit out. No. What was I going? Oh, demo discs. Right. Yeah. So. Speaking of demos, that's sort of that nostalgia of demo discs was the thing I wanted to bring back with my show. Dunk my demo.
Yeah.
Where it's simple. I just take 5 demos off Steam and then we play through them and then we hand out an award to the best one. And I just kind of wanted to have that sort of feeling of you never know what is going to be on the disc, or in this case, what's going to be on the stream. And I do love those old Sony demo discs.
They used to be brilliant. I remember two notably. I remember a game called Toonby. And I love to be. I've got levels. Have you got it?
I've got it on PlayStation.
I remember playing that because we'd only have a few levels, and I do it really slowly because I really enjoyed the game.
Right.
And the other one was a game called Akuji the Heartless, and you only get one level, and you get to a
very
certain
difficult
point. And I remember trying so hard, I built myself up to try to run past the wall of the demo, knowing that as soon as I run past this wall, the game would cut out. But I was like, no, if I run quick enough or a different angle, I can circumvent that and play the game. It never ever happened.
No, unfortunately not. No.
But I'd always liked to play that game actually. Toonby as well. Just it's not nostalgia. I remember the original Legacy of Kain as well. I couldn't work out for the life of me how to play that. Otherwise, you'd do that, wouldn't you? And just absorb soul, like you're putting your T-shirt forward.
You want to absorb me?
There you go. Yeah.
From demo discs, I remember discovering Magic Carpet. I remember just getting a demo which had a dinosaur on it. A model of a dinosaur that you could turn around and make it roar and stuff like that. It was really groundbreaking at the time, which is weird to say. You could make it walk, but it wasn't walking in an environment. It was just on a black screen,
walking around. Yeah,
it was weird. So you couldn't even tell if it was moving. So because it's a black screen. Nightmare Creatures I discovered through demos as well. Really fucking scared the shit out of me. That did. That game throws you in there with massive hairy beasts, and I feel like the lower graphic quality of games back then made things really hard to determine what things actually were, which made it more difficult. When you can see them clearly now, they seem less scary.
Absolutely.
Next on here is Destruction Derby.
I think I played a version of that again, maybe on a demo.
Yeah, no, I had Destruction Derby. That was a lot. That was a lot of fun, but only for like 5 minutes. That's the thing. Final Fantasy VII. Yeah,
I never played a Final Fantasy game, but I think number 7, number 10 are they the ones that people say are fantastic?
10 is divisive, but 7 is pretty much considered great.
And has that been remade more recently?
Yeah, it was just a remake of it. Yeah,
I will play it. I do really want to play that.
Or I should say that Final Fantasy VII, the remake, does sort of acknowledge that the other one exists.
Oh, okay.
So you might want to play the retro version.
I do love. I mean, anything sort of RTS, anything turn-based, anything like that. I'm all down.
Yeah. If it's turn-based, then I think the newer one gets rid of turn-based shit. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure.
I'll ask him.
If you're a Final Fantasy fan, then the real answer to what is the greatest Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 9 or 6. It's really weird. It is really weird. Like the populace would say 7, 10. Yeah. Right. But if you ask any Final Fantasy dedicated fan, they will definitely say 6 and 9. And 8 is one of the games that was hated originally and has come back around and has started to get a little bit more love by newer generations. Everyone hates 13. So
yeah, we hate 13.
And then 15 is divisive just because it's new and it's not like any of the others. It's just a bit.
Yeah, I suppose you'll never. That's the thing for a lot of these franchises. There are some, while some gems stand out, and then anything new, there's always going to be a few people that are not going to like it because it's not the same.
And it's gone down a different route. Everyone loves Final Fantasy 14 now. Again, another thing that came out was broken, and then the new one came out and then was great. They completely rebuilt that from the ground up. So yeah, Final Fantasy 7. I think that sells this quite a bit on its own, but this was £90.
Yeah, it was quite steep.
So Final Fantasy 7, yes, it should be on there, but to be honest with you, I would get rid of the other 3 games we've already mentioned just to get 8 and 9 on there alone.
I was hoping they would. I thought they were going to release more games on it.
No,
as they would go over time, but they don't seem to have done it.
It doesn't even connect to the internet, so there's no way to even update it. People have hacked it, but apart from that, Grand Theft Auto, the original, I love that game.
Not played a single Grand Theft Auto game actually either,
You never has played a single one.
No.
Crazy.
I think I've seen a friend playing this one a little bit because when you die, doesn't it say you're brown bread?
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah, that's right. I love the original retro Grand Theft Autos, top down. I thought they were a lot of fun, a lot of chaos. I loved the third game when they went 3D. They lost me, and I love 4. I didn't really like San Andreas that much. They lost me, and it got too big and became like a simulator. And then 5 really lost me. Now they just do everything online, and I'm just a bit.
It's a bit of a cash in there. There was a joke. What's the most recent one? Is it 5?
Yeah, well, 2013, but it's.
Well, there you go. I think the joke is that every console that comes out will still have a port of Grand Theft Auto 5.
And they say that the old joke used to be Skyrim's and everything, but like it used to be Doom. You can play that on like washing machines.
Yeah, I remember I watched a video of someone managed to get Doom to run on a printer in like a big scale printer, like an office block,
right?
And a tiny little screen. I'm thinking, 1, how? 2, why? Just because you can.
Yeah, that's just crazy, absolutely crazy. We got Intelligent Cube.
Oh, is that cube with a K? A K.
Cube
with a Q.
It's a puzzle game in which cubes come and squash you if you don't get out of the way and move for the correct amount of turns. Jump in Flash, one of the first games on PS1. It's a first-person platform game, quite innovative. You just jump around.
I actually love. I think that generation was brilliant for platform games. So I was a Nintendo kid myself. So we had, Mario was the big one. But then you look, you had things like I remember playing Gex quite vividly. That was a really, really good game. Rayman, I absolutely love Rayman. Again, that's coming up in a minute. That was always a bit harder, I found.
The next one's Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, yeah.
And what I like about this is, obviously Metal Gear is amazing. Like when I think PS1, I think of Metal Gear, Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Okay, Tomb Raider. Right. I'm gonna just bring this in real close so you can get a good look. You can just catch that there. The image they use for the Metal Gear Solid one is intentional. Have you played the original Metal Gear Solid?
I've played the remake of it. On the GameCube. I recognise that was when they're talking between the characters, isn't it? The text that comes up.
So, in the original PS1, when you meet who is it? It's the guy that Ocelot has captive. That's going to annoy the fuck out of me. Anyway, this guy tells you need to contact Meryl, and they're like, how do I contact her? And he says, it's on the back of the CD case.
Oh, okay.
And so everyone's like, what CD case? And they're looking in the game. They actually mean the game case that the game you've bought has come in, and on the back is an image of you talking to Meryl with the code 140.15, and that's how you know the codec code to call. And so they've intentionally put that image on the back for Metal Gear Solid so that you could still play the original game as intended.
That's amazing. Didn't they have something similar where you were fighting Psycho Mantis, then it could read all your mind, and then you had to take the controller out and put it into port 2
it could read your
read the memory.
So what it could do was it could read your controller inputs before you put them. So if you started to shoot this way, it'll move because he read it before you pressed it, basically, or before it received the signal of doing that thing. It could read your memory card, so if you've had any Konami games, it would say, you like Konami games, and then he'll comment on certain ones. in particular, and then if you had to take out the player 1 controller and put it in the player 2 port, so that he couldn't read your memory, couldn't read your moves.
It's such a clever little
playing with the device.
I thought the only games I can remember that done anything similar to that.
No, Nier Automata has done a lot of like breaking the fourth wall and stuff. So, not Nier Automata, just Nier in general. Both games. Mr. Driller.
Yeah, I remember playing that.
I don't remember that. Not until this came out. I never even heard of it.
It's very much a lot of these games look very similar to Tetris and sort of Bubble Glass, all this sort of stuff. They're all linked, aren't they?
Oddworld Abe's Odyssey.
Oh, I remember renting that. Right, so we had a game shop around like Lehman near where I lived, and we used to rent it for I think it was like a tenner a week, or I don't know how much it was. It probably was less than that. And it used to annoy the heck out of me because I just could not comprehend it. And you go, follow me, and you go, okay,
follow me.
And then I always thought of it as like Lemmings, but it's just hard.
It's a really hard game. It really is. The remake is incredible.
Yeah, I do want to get that actually.
It's a fantastic game. Hey,
hi,
follow me. Okay. I love that. Rayman, there it is.
Yeah.
So Rayman, I never played a Rayman game until Rayman Legends, which is like the last one they did, and it had Rayman Legends and Origins kind of combined into one. Fantastic game. So when I got this, the first thing I played was Rayman, and I was brutally brought down to size because it was very, very difficult.
Yeah, it is. It was a hard game. It's a cool. I like the concept of it. Like the floating hands and stuff, but it was. I remember it being quite clunky, and it is a slow game, but it is a difficult one as well.
So next is Resident Evil Director's Cut. Now the problem I have with this is that the Director's Cut is harder than the original because they change all the items around and up some of the difficulty of the enemies, and they add in a few extra things. So it's that you got the hardest version of the game here, and it's kind of. It's playable, and it's probably the best version of it. It's just anyone who's here for nostalgia probably would have played the original Resident Evil, not necessarily the Director's Cut version. And obviously, the Director's Cut has all the sensors on it as well, so you don't really get
not quite the same.
Or is it the other way around? No, the original might have had the sensors. One of them's bad.
So I'm quite lucky. I played the remake for the GameCube, but it's the game is. I do wish I got it because the game is absolutely fantastic. Resident Evil, the original one, is such a fantastic game. It's actually a scary game.
It says 18, and that could only be for Metal Gear or Resident Evil. So based on everything that's on here, we also have Revelations Persona. So that's one of the first Persona games. I've never played Persona.
No.
It's quite big now. Ridge Racer Type 4.
Oh, okay.
The only thing I know about Ridge Racer is it's Ridge Racer.
There's apparently 4 of them, and this is clearly the pick of the bunch.
Yeah, maybe.
Or is the easiest one to put on, one of the two.
Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. Street Fighter in bubble form.
I love that. That just sounds like they've just picked out random words out of a hat to make a game.
Pretty much. Siphon Filter.
I've heard that. I've never played, but I've heard of it. I know it's a classic.
I found it so difficult, and then I remember playing them and just picking them up and going, "Wow, I can play these now." It's weird how your skill just matures over time, but yeah, I love those games. They were great. The developers behind it are the ones who made Days Gone recently.
Oh, nice.
Tekken 3.
Tekken 3 is a masterpiece.
I love Tekken 3.
It was absolutely. It's just a really. It's one of those. It's I don't know. It's just it's button mashing. It is a game, but it's a fantastic fighting game.
There's so many game modes and unlockables.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, and that's what keeps you going. Yeah, just so
much replay value. Absolutely brilliant.
Is that the one with Eddie Gordo?
Eddie's in that. I'm sure.
I remember playing him as a kid, and it's pretty much a cheat code because he just flops about and kicks. You can't be touched. He just doing his little dancing and stuff. Yeah, doing his kicks. Spinning over. Absolutely brilliant. But it's a really good game. I remember playing that.
But Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, which I was not a really big fan of. The tactical stuff was a bit too realistic for me. I felt like it was, I don't know. Not in terms of it's realism. I don't want that. It's more sort of like
war.
You get shot a couple of times, you're dead. Like there was no sort of fun to be had in terms of fantasy fun. It was trying to be
realistic
too direct. Twisted Metal, which is like a car smashing game. It's not Destruction Derby, but it's more sort of
trying to think, there was another one.
It's car arenas, it's car fighting one-on-one kind of thing. And then Wild Arms, which was sort of a RPG from what I remember. So
there was, I think the thing for this for me, I remember looking at the games list when it came out, and there's so many things they could have put on there.
Yeah.
I think for me, so I didn't have a load of PlayStation games, but I think the main ones I had were Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, Tomb Raider, obviously Tekken, which is on there, and a few more. And I think if you ask me, I think those would be the ones I would have assumed they'd be the biggest selling points.
There isn't a Tomb Raider on it,
No,
and the reason for that is because it now is owned by Square.
Oh,
but
okay.
But hold on a minute. For Final Fantasy VII's on here.
And that's Square and Square.
So why is there a PlayStation Classic without a Tomb Raider?
Yeah. I think, and that's the thing is that for me, when we
they got Metal Gear on it, so where's Silent Hill? Why is there only 20
Yeah.
games on this thing? They're PS1 games. They don't have that big a storage space.
No, I think it was a bit of a cash. I think didn't the N64 one come out first?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, there was like a Pocket.
Yeah.
And Nintendo Pocket or something like that.
It's good, but it could be better. Yeah, as you said, the games. Hardly any memory. They could have packed all the games on there if they wanted to.
They could have easily doubled it and made this so much more worth the price of admission. I bought it as a Christmas. I had some money one Christmas, and I think it was 2 years ago. It was like £90. I got some discount off it, and I was like, yeah, great. And I played it for like 3 times. I had it set up next to my bed.
Yeah.
And it's just sat in that other room because like I've moved on to other things, and it's just like. There's just nothing there really to keep me going.
And as you said, you can get the games on PC if you want.
Exactly, exactly. I have, and so here it is, everyone. Here is
It's tiny. It's so cute.
Tiny little thing. It is smaller than the PS1.
It's only slightly bigger than the average iPhone.
I was going to say, it's very phone-like in size, but it's just a little bit wider. I've got to be honest, though, I am very impressed with this.
It looks nice.
The actual device is very good. It looks exactly the same as PS1. You've got the power button here that will turn it on and off. The reset button is there. I don't think that actually did anything in the. Was there a reset button there? I don't think there was a reset button in the original PlayStation.
I just turned it on.
I think you just had a power button and then you had the open. Now, obviously, the open button's here just for effect. There is no actual open case. This is sealed, unfortunately. There's no discs. What sort of disc would you put in there? Nice logo on the front there, the PlayStation logo. Get that closer. You can see the PlayStation logo there. Very nicely done. That's embossed in there. Do you want to give that a little feel?
Ooh,
yeah,
very nice.
Quite well done.
It feels nice actually as well.
On the back, you've just got your standard HDMI ports, and it's got a USB port at the back, which is odd because I don't know what that is necessarily for.
Do you reckon that was for potential future? You could buy games on a USB and plug them in. I don't know.
Yeah, potentially.
If you can't connect to the internet, I think it could have been better in that respect.
Because the controller ports go in here, which are a USB Type 2.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what that is. Sorry, that's the actual plug. It runs off the charge. I just realised because I'm looking for a massive. It's console. I'm looking for the massive charging, not charge point, but like plugging point. But no, it's a USB C charging port that goes into a standard charging plug. But yeah, no, the standard USB 2.0 is there. It's got the fake ventilation at the side. I think that's fake because, let's be honest, this device isn't going to overheat. I don't know. It looks like it might be a bit vented. I don't know, it's hard to tell. And on the bottom, you've just got the standard interface. It's a pretty standard. I mean, if you open this up, it will look like your typical. What do they call them? Something Pi in it.
Raspberry Pi.
Raspberry Pi. It's one of those very simple form devices that are put together with a simple motherboard and a few little adaptions. £90. I mean, let's be honest, you're paying for the brand, and I'd say exclusive games, but already you're paying for nostalgia. Yeah. And it only lasts for so long. I think it was a little bit more of a stocking filler, but an overpriced one.
Yeah.
I like the actual thing. If this was just a model, if this was actually just to put this on a stand,
actually that would look really nice. If you
I wouldn't pay £90 for it, but I would certainly say, hey, that looks cool. I'd love to have that placed up on a mantelpiece, you know. But just untapped potential. Really, just didn't live up to what you'd expect, but a nice little bit of retro objet d'art.
What I would like if they eventually just released all these games on PS4, PS5 and things, just to play then for nostalgia purposes.
Yeah, that's the problem in licensing.
Yeah.
It's awful.
You have to buy the old games.
All that, those online games now where like, MMOs and stuff like that. Right, you could spend hours, dedicate so much of your life to these games. But if that developer just says we're shutting down, like not just maybe this company shutting down, but they're just like, we're moving on to the next things, we're shutting down the servers. Everything's gone.
That's it.
It's all gone. Games get taken off of storefronts all the time. So if you download only and you don't get discs, which most of you can't anymore, you're fucked. You don't get access to the game you bought anymore unless it's already been pre-installed. PT is a good example of that, So although that weren't bought, it was free. Nevertheless, that is the Sony PlayStation. I have a lot of fond memories. I would show you a controller. I just couldn't remember where I put them. I think they're tended in the drawer next door.
They do come with the console.
Yes, they do. You get two of them actually,
Ooh.
which really did surprise me. That's really good because obviously it come with Tekken and a few fighters, and they were like, "Well, we're going to have to put a second one in there."
Yeah, at least they could do really for £90.
Yeah, they're going to say enough. But it's a shame actually because the controllers are really nicely done. They're a little bit brighter than the originals, and they're not analog, so they're the proper old school PlayStation ones.
Wow.
No analog sticks with the PS1 came out. You had the analog sticks. It's the standard here, which does feel a bit naked. It does feel like your index fingers are not resting on the bottom of the the bottom of the analog, so they kind of grip more firmly. But I feel like it also becomes more restrictive because you're gripping more firmly. Nevertheless, it's nicely presented, poorly executed. Is my honest opinion of the PlayStation Classic.
Yeah. Good, but they could have done more.
Absolutely. So well done, Sony. Good attempt, Sony. And good luck in the future with your PlayStation.
Yeah, hope you get a bit of success, bit of money behind you. Who knows? You could beat Nintendo at some point.
Yes,
or Sega. They're still doing well.
The problem is with these devices like this is that if it all goes under for you, Sony, this will be an Xbox.
Yeah.
That joke.
We'd have to be playing Zelda on the Xbox, and that'd be terrible, wouldn't it?
That joke. Of course, the original PlayStation was a combination effort of Nintendo and Sony.
Yeah.
Then they fell out, and Sony went, because they wanted to go down disk drive.
They did.
Option. So they presented a Nintendo PlayStation.
What could have been?
That's an actual thing at one point.
Imagine a console that has, things like obviously Metal Gear Solid, Tomb Raider, all these things, Mario, Zelda, Spyro, or a combination. The world would be a better place. Let's be realistic, but they messed up. They had a bit of a tiff then, and we're paying for it 20, 30 years later.
See, I love looking back at the retro style of the era, but knowing now that indie gaming has flourished and that any developer can make a proper, really fucking good game and out of nowhere for a little money and still be widely successful in the industry. I love that.
It's great. It's
you're
really
not gatekeeped by these companies like Nintendo and Microsoft and Sony. But there you go. That was the PlayStation Classic.
Yeah.
Belongs in the past.
What are you doing, Sol?
Oh, I'm just playing with my station.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It's better than playing with yourself.
That's true.
Although, mind you. No, we better keep this PG.
Keep your fingers out of those slots.
Oi! You say slots or? I'll tell you where the people at home can put their fingers.
On the like and subscribe button.
Wait! It's two separate buttons.
Oh. Should do that again.
No. We'll keep that in. Like and subscribe, guys, for more.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. You could do worse.
More ripping the piss.